We're going to look at a different way of estimating square roots today. It's a really nice way of doing it, and it's worth looking at because it can be used in different forms of life. So, I want to estimate the square root of 11. Okay, that's the question. It's pretty straightforward. We need a pair of compasses and a protractor for this to be able to be done properly, along with a ruler as well. Okay, but you don't need a calculator, although it's nice to have a calculator so that you can check your answer. The first step we need to do is we need to draw ourselves a horizontal line. Okay, it needs to be 11 centimeters. Let's use centimeters. It doesn't actually matter on the measurement you use, whether it be centimeters or inches, even meters. But it needs to be consistent all the way along. So it needs to be, I'm going to use centimeters because then it's going to be easier to show. So I'm going to start at 0, I'm going to go up to 11, but then every single time, and this is something you need to do whatever you're doing, whichever one you're doing for this, you just need to add on an extra 1. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line that is 12 centimeters long. And then I'm going to put a few marks on that line. I'm going to mark where the 1 extra centimeter starts, so at 11. It's just to the left of that, because you need to be as accurate as possible for this to work. Okay. I'm also going to mark where the midpoint of this new line is. Now this line is 12 centimeters long, so the midpoint is at 6. And that's all you need to do for now. So what I'll do next is get my compasses, and I'm going to draw a semicircle around from one end of the whole line to the other end. Okay. Right, that's pretty neat. Okay. So the way that we can estimate this square root is if we were now to draw a perpendicular line from where the 11 mark is, and that's where the protractor comes in, is to make my 90-degree angle. Okay, let's put a mark there at 90 degrees. And then all I want to do is I want to join the base of that line up with the circle, the semicircle. Right, in theory, if this length is 11 centimeters, this length from the base of the line up to the circle should be the square root of 11. So I only need a ruler, and if I measure that, it stops at about 3.3. So this is 3.3 centimeters high. And let's just see how accurate this really is, because it does come down to your accuracy. If you had smaller portions of the line, I can only go as far as millimeters, but if you could go to hundreds, that would work pretty well. Okay, so hopefully you can see the screen. So we want the square root of 11 equals square root of 11, yes. Press the SD, 3.3166247. So that's pretty close actually. That's quite close to being to 2 decimal places, I suppose. So that's pretty straightforward. Let's do another one. Let's do one more. I'm going to do the square root of 4. So the square root of 11, let's go back to that quickly, is approximately 3.3. Okay. So square root of 4, nice and easy. We know the answer to that, it's 2. So I'm going to draw a line that's 4 centimeters plus 1 more in width. So that's 5 centimeters in width, or length even. I'm going to mark at 4, and I'm also going to mark the midpoint of the line, well that would be 2.5. Okay. Then I'm going to draw my semicircle. Might be a bit trickier because it's a bit smaller. Close to being pretty good, but I can see there's a little gap at the end there. Hopefully that doesn't affect the reading too much. Let's get our 90-degree angle. Okay, and let's draw our line down. Perpendicular line to the circle from the baseline, and then let's measure it. That's pretty close to being 2. Okay, but I think probably a little bit of a mistake on my part. I didn't get the end of the line joined up. So square root of 4, 2 centimeters. That's 2 centimeters high. This is 4 centimeters long. Equals 2. Right, that's going to be the first bit I'd like you to do. I'd like you to have a go at practicing some of these. But then, what I would also like you to do is try and prove it for me. And I'll show you the best way to set this out. Okay. Let's suppose we have a line. Right, I've chosen a line that's 10 centimeters long. I'm going to mark one at 9. I'm going to mark the midpoint, which is at 5. It's always good to have a diagram when you're trying to do a proof where possible. Okay. Right, let's draw in some lines. I'm not going to bother with the protractor this time because it doesn't need to be perfect. Right, what I want to try and do is, if I know that this length is x, I need to try and prove that this is the square root of x. Because then if I do it algebraically, rather than doing one case, one case, one case, I can show that it's true for every case. So some of the things that you might like to use is the fact that it's a right angle. Okay, we know that it's a right angle. So there's certain rules, certain theorems we can use around right angles. The next thing I'm going to give you one more hint, and hopefully you can just have a go. If you get stuck, or if you're not sure where to go, make sure you email me, and I can have a look, see how far you've got and where you need to go to. The next thing is, this is a circle or a semicircle. So facts about circles. Once you see the right way to do this, or once you see the proof, it is actually quite a nice, easy, and quite a clean proof. Okay, but there you go. Facts about circles, right angle circle. You've got a length. You also, one more thing, sorry, we know that this is 1 unit here. Okay, that's something else that you will need to use. Okay, but apart from that, I've given you everything you need to do. Maybe a bit woolly, but I can't give you everything without literally putting it on a plate. Alright, have a go, do your best.